in the world around about, there is so much to read everywhere. There's
Mhm.
menus in restaurants. There's
Yes.
instructions for how to do things. If
Mhm.
she plays games with other people in the
Mhm.
digital world, she needs to communicate with them.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
so I think she sees how important it is to to understand, to be able to read, so that she
Mhm.
can
Yes.
communicate better and learn more. Um, so yeah, I try to set a good example with that, and I do a lot of writing as well, so that
Mhm.
connects with with the reading because dad
Mhm.
writes books, so
Yes.
she understands, I think, the importance
Mhm.
of that a little bit, because she asks, so what are you writing, and how
Mhm.
long does it take to write a book, and when will you be finished,
Mhm. Mhm.
and other questions like that. So I think she has an interest in it, and I think naturally everybody learns to read naturally. You you
Mhm.
you need
Yes.
it. Thousands of children have learned English from playing computer games because they
Yes.
need to communicate with other
Mhm.
characters and follow the
Mhm.
instructions and learn about the worlds that they're in. So they're
Mhm.
motivated that way. I don't think it's so important. I mean, the only people that don't learn to read are the people who have other people that read for them.
Mhm.
Those are the
Yes.
only people who don't learn to read because they don't need to do it because somebody else will do it for them, and so they
Mhm.
become lazy. But
Mhm.
everybody else will see that other people are getting ahead. They're doing things bigger, better, faster, longer, whatever.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And they're doing this because they have information and they get the information from reading. And so it's completely natural. I think that at the time of the American Revolution, I think the statistics were 98% of the American public were literate. They could read. 98% could read. And there were no schools.
Mhm.
No schools. Now,
Mhm.
the percentage is down to 80%, plus minus.
Mhm.
There's a large. Now, on one side, the argument is, well, there's more people, so it's more complicated. But on the
Mhm.
other side, there's like, well, there was no school, there was no education, there was nobody to help people. And
Mhm.
they learned to read because they wanted to be better. They wanted to know. Everybody wanted to know what the news was. Everybody wanted
Mhm.
to. Everybody wanted the information because
Mhm.
it was useful. It was helpful. Everybody wanted to read stories, and when the Bible was popular, people wanted
Mhm. Mhm.
to be able to read that for themselves and understand it.
Mhm.
And a lot of these people didn't have any teachers. They
Mhm.
just went through the long, slow process of trying to read the word and
Mhm.
make the right
Mhm.
sound, and to learn that the English language is very crazy, really. It's not one language, it's like 12 languages all mixed together. There's lots of letters that we don't pronounce. Um,
Mhm.
there's
Mhm.
uh, there's words where the meanings change,
Mhm.
um, and also language is a little bit of a have a little bit of a box for people as well, um, because how we communicate is connected with how we think, and if we get the wrong input, which is the wrong information, which is very easy. It's very easy to get the wrong information.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then make mistakes, and then wonder why is this why is this wrong? Well, you got the wrong information, and that only works if you can read and if you can understand the words. And there's levels to everything. So
Yes, right.
there's a lot of double meanings in everything that happens with language. And especially right now, if you look at the world right now, there's a lot of new language, new terminology that is entering the vocabulary that people are using. And this is language that is being given to us. Some of it is very powerful and can help us in our lives, but a lot of the information we get can be negative, and that's not so helpful. Words, and I see in the world a big problem between what people say and what people do. And the easiest thing to do is just to believe everybody, whatever they say, yes, 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 yes. Like I try to make it a point to teach my children that the single greatest skill they will ever have is knowing what is true and what is not true in life. You can learn a million things. You can read a million books. You can learn a million things. You can be a doctor. You can be a race car driver. You can be a scientist. You can be a cook. You can be a million things. But if you don't know what is true and what is not true, you're not going to get very far, right? And this applies to everybody. I mean, if you're a cook and you don't know which advice is good advice about how to cook the food, then you won't be a very good cook. If you're a scientist and you don't take the right advice about science, you'll make a lot of mistakes. So I think that this one skill is very, very important and very, very underrated. People don't think about it a lot. And it comes into the category of critical thinking, but it's more important than that, because what percentage was it? There was a study done. I'm thinking about a study that was done recently, and I'm probably not going to find it. I know that research by the American Statistical Association in 2014 concluded that only a maximum of 14% of educational results are a result of the teacher's work. Only 14%. Maximum 14%. Maximum. So this means that a minimum 86% of students' results are because of what happens outside of school.
Interesting.
86% of educational results, educational outcomes are a result of what is happening outside of the educational environment. So if you include everything in schools, the teachers, the administrators, the buildings, the environment, the materials, the courses, the curriculums, the organization, the total maximum result is that it's only 14% of a child's education. And so the question then is, what is the other 86% and where is it coming from? And it's coming from the home environment. That's what it's coming from. Yeah, it's the difference between parents reading with their children and parents watching television. Yeah. It's the difference between meaningful, important conversations and meaningless, unimportant, irrelevant conversations. And so when you understand that number, it seems, and then think about time. How much time is invested in schoolwork versus other factors, right? It's crazy because if you think like 8 hours a day on a normal day, a child will be in school or doing activities related to school, not including projects and homework and anything else, whether you're in the school choir or the football team or whatever. That's going to take, I don't know, 60, 70, 80% of a person's day.
Yes.
As well as getting to school and getting home from school and all the other things connected with that. So maybe let's say 70% of a person's day, of a student's day, only equals 14% of their total result. And the other 30% of their day equals 86% of their total educational result. What is more important? The 30%. The 30% is more important because it contributes to 84% of, or more of, 84, 86, I think, of the final total. And so when people think education happens in school,
It's not true.
no, it's not true. It's much more of everyone's busy, but the results are not really there. Which is very similar to prison, right? In prison, everyone is busy, but the results are not really there. Yeah, and what are the two most important subjects? Maybe health and finance, and those subjects very rarely appear in any school curriculum, right? So there's, they get good students get 90 minutes of sport a week. I mean, that's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And they get very little information about nutrition and vitamins and minerals and all those other. They learn about the body, but they learn about it because they will be tested on it, not because they want to have a healthy lifestyle. And then we see this as well with parents who are not very healthy usually produce children who are not very healthy.
Yes.
It's a similar outcome
Mhm.
there. So with reading, the most important thing is that the parents will read and the children will see books, and
Mhm.
as a result will be interested in that topic.
Mhm.
This will be their normality, and I was talking to Jazz the other day, and she was in her room, and she has a little computer in her room, and she was sitting in front of the computer going on
Mhm.
the computer, and obviously, she wasn't really doing anything, but in her mind, she was playing at work. And I said, Jazz, what are you doing? And she said, I'm working. I'm
Mhm.
I'm busy. Come back later. Okay.
She was busy.
Yeah, she was busy. She was very busy. Don't interrupt me. No, I don't have time. Come back later. Okay, sorry. So they so the children pick up these ideas very very quickly, and consider them as normal as a result. And so we probably learn more from Lego than we do from school. We probably learn more from our friends than we do from the school. And school is what school is what happens in between everything that's fun, right? For most people, most students don't enjoy history and geography and scientific subjects, so it's it's always a little bit of a waste of time for them to get involved in those kinds of topics, because you can learn anything given a period of time. If you tell me, like, I'm not very good with cars, so but if you tell me, okay, read this book and this book and this book and learn about it and study, I could learn it. Anybody can learn anything. I could learn to ride a horse if I wanted. Just like we learn to drive a car. It's not natural. It's not natural to drive a car, but everybody learns to drive a car. Yeah. It's not natural to use a computer, but everybody learns how to use a computer, right? There's this The whole construct of society is things that are not natural for us. Um, so so we can learn anything. It's the best skill. Adaptability is the best skill. It's the ability to to learn something new, or to change your skill level, or change your direction in life. The ability to adapt um, is the skill that, if you can't change, you are not going to survive. Look at the last 12 months around the world, right? The people who are doing well right now in entrepreneurship, in independent businesses, are the people who changed their direction. The people who said, okay, we can't do it this way now, so we have to find another way to do it.
Yeah.
And still, and people do it. Every generation must adapt to to the changes that